Hello, it's Wanda again, your positive mom, your certified positive NLP guru. I can be your mom also if you want to. I always call my mom positive mom because I want my kids to inherit my positive traits. So always call myself that title. Moving on, now I'm going to teach you about, you've learned about the power of your thoughts, you've learned about the power of your words, you've learned about the power of mind control. I'm going to teach you about the power of the vision, the power of your sounds, and your feelings. If you remember, one of the things I told you initially is what is neurolinguistic programming. This is how you communicate and understand things through your vision, through your sound, and through your feelings. So these are actually what they call a mind learning channel. And if you want to classify people, people are also like this. Like what they said, auditory. This is actually more that is in relation to sounds, what is heard and said. Statistically, they said best research says that 10% of people are actually auditory, meaning they relate more to sounds, to what they hear. And there are also people who are kinesthetic, like they're more into emotions, through actions, through movements, through taste. Or so it is based on what is felt. Have you ever come across those people who are very touchy? Like if they want to tell you something, they want to be very close, or they want to be holding you. Sometimes it irritates you because I will tell you more later why. But basically, because you are a different person, so you are very different from that kinesthetic person, so that attitude of being touched or what, you don't like it at all. But there are really some people who are like that. They're more comfortable communicating when it is felt. And statistics said 5% of people are kinesthetic. Lastly, we learn through visuals. We learn through printed materials, through facial expressions, through body language, and we relate more to what is seen. And statistics said 85% of people are visual. That's really a big number. And that is true. So if you come across it, if you look at commercials, what do you see? Majority of it relates to our vision, right? If you look about magazines, if they want to promote something, there's always about vision, about visual presentations. If you also are working, if you're in a corporate world, the way you make presentations, you have to talk less, have less words, but put more vision to it, put more visuals, put more pictures. Why? Because your message will come, it will be communicated more effectively through the power of these visuals. Is it? It is very powerful. So just remember this. If you even want to talk to somebody also, let's say for example, you want to give direction. When you give a direction to somebody, you always relate it to a picture, right? Like you said, on the first corner, on the first signal, you have to turn right, turn left, or if you see this mosque, or if you see this church, this is where you have to go. So again, your mind can relate more to the visions, the visuals, the pictures. So if you also want to communicate effectively, do through visual materials, through your body language, through your facial expressions. See, facial expressions is also visual. Like you can make out if somebody is smiling at you, then you think of, oh, that person seems to be nice. But if a person keeps on frowning only all the time, you have that impression that, oh, I think it's a grumpy person. So again, what message do you want to communicate to the other person or to the world? Do you want to be perceived as a grumpy person, in which case you will frown all the time? Or if you want to project yourself as something who is very approachable, so you will always have a pleasant face, of course. And mind you, all qualifications normally say pleasing personality, and I have not seen any pleasing personality which is frowning all the time. as they said, smile is the most beautiful attire you can wear. So please use the power of your smile, your facial expression to be more friendly to anybody. Okay. Do you also know that the mind stores and recalls memories through image, sounds, and feelings also? Okay, let me discuss with you quickly. What do you see in this picture? And what do you feel? For the first picture, maybe some of you may not know what is this. Here, in this part of the world, this is called biryani. And this is one of the Indian foods that they really like. So it can go with chicken, vegetable, or they have a variety of that. So if this is your favorite, you might be saying, "Oh my God, I want to eat that." But if you're not even familiar with this picture, you wouldn't even think it doesn't mean anything to you. But if you're like somebody who likes steak, the moment I said steak, maybe you're gonna think about, "Oh, I'm gonna eat that tonight." So again, it varies. So if you look at also the flags, this is one of the things I normally use. So when I present here in Dubai to the Filipinos, I always show them the Philippine flag and I ask them, what do you feel when you see the Philippine flag? And he said, I felt nationalistic. I felt like I want to go home. And that is us Filipinos. But for other nationalities, if you ask them, what is this? And they wouldn't even care because they don't know that it's the Philippine flag. But again, there's another flag there. So that flag, I think it's Pakistan flag, you know, it will create a different emotion again to different people. So this is how we say uh, your mind communicates through vision, through feelings, and sound we'll discuss later. So these are also the mind learning channels. So how do the mind store and recall a memory? Again, the image in your mind, it's a certain location. There is a size to it. It's about the color, the movement, and the distance. All of these concepts of how to play with the image, the sound, and the feeling is used majority if you want in the context of healing. One of these days, I'm going to record one of the healing techniques that I use for my daughter. Like my eldest daughter, she's very fearful. She's like me. When I was small, I'm afraid of the dark. Whenever I watch scared movies, I easily get scared. So this daughter of mine, she cannot sleep because before going to bed, the flashes of the fears of the day comes back to her memory. So she will always tell me, Mommy, can you please help me remove the negative memory, the fears in my mind? This is like the movie Frozen, where the troll was removing that memory of Anna. That is true. That can be done. You can remove a negative memory, you can replace it, you can change it. Also, if you want to recall a happy memory, that can also be done. So sometimes I also use that if I see that my daughter is sad, then I'm gonna make her recall a great vacation that we had or a fun memory that she really loves. And that will totally shift her emotions also. But basically, how do you do it? Like, for example, for my daughter, before we go to sleep and she starts to say, I want to let go of the fears that I have, then I will ask her the questions, what are those fear in your mind? And I want her to like assign a certain color to that fear that she has. And then I will tell her to let go of the fear by letting that color assigned to that fear, imagine it going out of her body. And then we will imagine it going out of her body and I'm gonna throw it out. And it actually helps. It helped big time. You might say, does it really work? I challenge you. Try it. Because I've tried it so many times and it really works. Sometimes I'm having a bad day. So before I sleep, I recall what happened during that day, and I realize there's some, events of the day that is really very negative. So what I choose to do, I recall that memory, and I try to recall that memory using uh, the volume, the sound, what did I hear. Then it's a matter of either pretending not to hear that person again, so I will change the sound. So I will, as if, pretend to use a remote and mute it, so that memory of that person telling me something will not hurt me again. In terms of the feelings again, I will feel that emotion, the negative emotion that I have. I will acknowledge that, but at the same time, through that, power of recalling what happened, I will also try to change my emotion towards that. I will imagine, you know 10 years from now, how do I want to see this memory? So I will just choose to let go and say, I choose to forgive people, because at the end of the day, it doesn't help me holding this negative luggage in my heart. Just to give you a very quick another sharing, one of my students, I will not name names, I actually asked the class, I told them, do you have some people you cannot forgive? And they started saying, yeah, of course. And I was like, so how long was that? They said maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago. And I even asked them, where did that event happen? So they said, oh, it's actually not even here. It's from another country. And I was like, okay, so let's say imagine those emotional negative baggage, those emotional feelings that you have are equivalent to a baggage. And one hurt to one person is 10 kgs. So it's like, okay, fine, we're okay with that. So I told them, okay, let's use the image. Let's imagine that is an emotional baggage that you carry wherever you go. So immediately one of my students said, but mom, how can we carry so much of 10 kg everywhere we go? And I was saying, exactly this is the point I want to tell you. If you continue to hold on to the negative emotions in your mind and carry it everywhere you go, you're gonna be burdened by this at all times. Can you physically carry more than 10 kgs ever? Can you ride the train conveniently? Can you ride the bus? Can you travel anywhere in the world having so many negative emotional baggage with you? It's close to impossible. And it's gonna cost you a lot, because excess baggage costs you too much. Sometimes it's more than your airfare if you're carrying this much of emotional negative baggage. So I gave them another exercise on how to let go of these negative emotions. And then after those exercises we did, actually they felt more peaceful. They said, I feel better now. I said, yes, definitely. If you choose to let go of the negative hurts and emotions, it will give you a lot of peace. And I always tell this to, especially to my friends and especially to my kids, if they hurt each other or if they feel something bad, I always tell them, please forgive. I want them to forgive, because at the end of the day, for that gift of forgiving is more for you, more for the person, because you deserve to be peaceful. You deserve to be free from these negative emotions. So if you have hurts from the past, forgive and let go, because you deserve to be at peace. You deserve to live a happy life. And as we go through the courses, I will go back again and show you more examples, and I'll try to show you some videos of how we're able to do these exercises so you can appreciate it more. Thank you, and I'm going to see you on the next lesson.